Well, good morning. Well, good morning. Alright. Come on, let's go pee. Let's go pee. Alright, good morning y'all. Welcome back to Bass Your channel. Appreciate y'all tuning in here for another video. So flashback, what is it, like April 15th, 16th, flashback to January 26th. I'm driving my F-250 down to Orlando to visit my parents for the weekend. This is on a Friday. I pull off of the interstate. I stop at a gas station I don't ever stop at. Put in a tank of diesel. Yes, it was a green handle. And I proceed back down the highway. Well, as soon as I fired up my truck, I got some really bad shakes, blowing white smoke uncontrollably everywhere. Whether I'm at an idle or putting the pedal to the floor, I'm throwing white smoke. Really rough driving. And then when I'd get up to about 65, 70 miles an hour, about 2,000 RPMs, the truck's gliding, purring like a kitten, riding great. So I get back down to Orlando, I throw some fuel additive in it, just thinking maybe there's some water in the diesel, because this is a gas station that I'm sure not a lot of people stop at. And for the next 2 or 3 days, I'm driving the truck around as is, because, well, I'm in Orlando. The truck's driving fine once it's up to speed, but it's a rough idle and blowing a lot of white smoke and rough and everything. So I think nothing of it. I get back on the interstate, I drive back up to North Florida where I live, and on Monday morning, I drop it off at the shop that I have all the work done at it. And it literally blows up on the way there. I mean, I pull it into the parking lot of the place. It's blowing so much white smoke and knocking in so many areas of the engine. One of the techs there takes it down the road and it's done. The turbo blows up and he's like, you're probably minutes away from throwing a rod at the core of this engine. You should probably just not fire this thing up. Let's take the heads off and see what we got going on. Fast forward a week, we're now in February, and we figured out that the truck completely burned a valve cover off. Piston rings are completely worn. So we basically come to the conclusion, to make a long story short, that it's cheaper to find a different engine than to keep throwing parts of the current one I had. I'm already a couple $1,000s, more than a couple $1,000s into the old 7.3. This isn't a 6.0 or 6.4, this is 7.3. There was pretty much zero maintenance to the previous owner from there in Arkansas, so good job to whoever you are, you fine individual. The last couple months we've been looking for a salvage engine. I can't really afford a reman, can't really afford that route. Definitely wasn't going to go with a $3,000 rebuild, but we can just put a $3,000 7.3 in it. So that's what we did. Like I said, 3 months of hard looking. So for you that don't know, this is my 2001 F-250 7.3 liter. I also drive a little single cab F-150 that I've had since high school. And I love this truck. I bought it with 120,000 miles. Everybody knows the reliability and the track record of the 7.3, which is why I bought it. I'd say 8 months into owning it, I couldn't keep the thing out of the shop. There was just too much of picking up on the truck, too much to do with it. And, you know, instead of throwing parts at it, we decided again just to go the route of ripping the engine out and putting a new one in. So here's some pictures that I'll post of the work being done, and then we'll sit back down and kind of go over costs, diagnostics and everything, just in case you're going through the same issue. I've gone through tons of Facebook forums throughout the life of me owning this bad boy, so I know just like the basics of all the things when it comes to these engines. So I'll be sure to post a ton of stuff for you. So let's throw you guys these pictures because they're pretty cool and interesting. All right, so I still got the same interior and everything. 143.2 on the dash. Let's go ahead and pop the hood on her. So yeah, you saw all those crazy pictures. Now, the cab doesn't have to be lifted like the 6 liters do. It just makes things a lot easier and quicker for these trucks. Most people are lifting the cabs on 7.3s now to do that kind of work, especially the oil pan, they're pulling the engines and stuff. That was 5 days ago today. 5 days ago we had the cab lifted on this truck. So you might ask, why did it take 3 months to find an engine? We're going to talk about that on my drive into work. I at least just wanted to show you what we did do. We threw a new starter on, a new ICP, CPS sensors, new alternator, new AC compressor, AC pump, AC lines. So there's a couple parts on there that are brand new. For the most part, that is the engine that we found. So let's fire this thing up. Having this new engine, then it just made me realize I was probably driving an engine that was ready to blow up for like 8 or 9 months. So we'll do a little standard talk before work. Why did the engine blow up? First question. We don't really know. Even after pulling the heads off and checking everything and throwing a bore down the cylinders, basically we lost compression in the first and 8th cylinder. There was 0 compression in the 8th cylinder and about 200 psi in the first. And in these engines, you want to be above 400. So the first cylinder was on its way out. Don't really know why it got so hot that it burned an exhaust valve off like that. There was injector work done to the trucks. I don't know if they can run rich in that fact to be able to burn injector rings or to be able to burn exhaust valve covers off like that. You know, first going into it, thought it was an injector cup job. Maybe something was loose there. There was nothing going on there. And the wear on the piston rings was just really concerning. The cover actually broke off. We don't know where the heck it went. Don't know if it's been bouncing around with the pistons and then just chopped up and thrown into pieces and eventually sucked into the turbo, because the turbo looked like it had been chewing on bricks, and then maybe it shot out the exhaust. We don't really know where it went still. So there's really not an answer as to why the truck blew up. With its track record of putting work into it, really just leads to 0 maintenance. Older diesels, these trucks are like boat motors. They want to be ran, they want to be worked, they want to do their job. You sit around, they're going to get gunky and they're going to screw up on you. And if you don't schedule maintenance for them, these engines are going to schedule maintenance for you, and it's not going to be the fun way. So number 2, why did it take you 3 months to find an engine? Well, the vendors we were working with were going to make dang sure that we were getting the best 7.3 salvage that we could find. This engine actually came out of a wrecked 2001 truck, a lot like mine, and we went through 7 different engines. 7 engines. We actually found one the first week that this happened. That was the route we were going to go for a really good price. And when it came in on the crate, it looked like it had been towed around the engine yard by another 7.3. I mean, just beat to hell. And there were a couple different engines that were the same route. We'd get them in, look at them, these are beat, send them back. Get them in, put oil in them, put them on a dyno, then they leak oil, or just stupid little stuff where we're not dropping, you know, $3,500 on an engine for it to not be road ready when we get it. We knew we were going to have to throw a couple parts on it, which was fine. We already had a brand new AC compressor, starter, and alternator, low pressure oil pump. That's kind of standard to do. So this one came with the turbo and came with the high pressure oil pump, which is clutch because that's a couple grand. Trying to find good ones of those as well. We got 18 months of an injector warranty, a 12 months parts and labor on the engine. It was really like a peace of mind. I could have gone a cheaper route, maybe in the $2,000–3,000 range, and probably would have, you know, been all right. But I'm not rolling the dice anymore, especially with the track record. Gets up and going quicker. It's not as loud, it's not as shaky, it's not as rough riding. Now I do get it. I was driving a truck before with an engine about to throw rods on its way out the door, so I get that too. But just very, very happy with the performance of this truck now. Really can't say enough. You saw the pictures, and that's really not even that much work pulling the cab. I think it's like 6 or 7 bolts. My last name is McElvaney. Murphy's Law is my best friend. If it can happen, it will happen, and guess what? It did. You know, when it happened, I was just like, you know what? I'm not even surprised. I should just went this route months ago. Whole lot of man stuff going on this morning. Alright y'all, so I wanted to get out here and finish up the rest of the truck vlog here, to kind of talk about the truck, finish up everything on that. I did a truck walk around, like a tow rig video. I don't know, this is probably 5, 6, 7, 8 months ago, somewhere around that range. We're actually out here at a pond right now that I've wanted to fish, so I decided we'd finish up the truck video first. Got the hound dog with me also. She's going absolutely nuts out here. Did the tow rig video, so this is going to be kind of like a part 2 of it. So just to kind of go off, here's in the cab, we've got all tan leather interior. Now, that was what I was going for when I bought this truck. I was going for a white, short bed, extended cab with tan interior. I found the truck. It actually came out of Jacksonville, Florida. Since the last video, LED everything, fog lights, housing and the headlights. Did a black bull bar up front about 100 miles before the engine blew up. It's got a 2.5-inch leveling kit on it, which is really just add leaves up front. It's the safest leveling kit you can install on these trucks to get the best type of handling. And that's really it. 285, 75, 16 tires. Put a bed cover on it, a little vinyl cover. Other than that, for the ones that have seen the truck or the video before, it's the same truck. It's just got a brand new engine in it. So hopefully this thing goes the million miles that these trucks are liable to do. And I love this thing, man. I hope to have it on the road forever. I honest to God want this to be the truck that I can hand to my son one day, or daughter if I do have kids. So in my head, that's kind of my vision. I want that truck to be it. And maybe one day walk away from the single cab F-150. But I'd like to have like 2 older trucks when I'm, you know, older, decades older, like an older V6 gasser that can go forever and an older diesel that can go forever. So I've got them both. Now it's just time to maintain them and keep them clean and keep them well maintained until then. Alright y'all, that's going to do it for us here though for this video. Appreciate y'all tuning in and watching again. We're going to drive around this pond a little bit, hopefully find some fish. Again, hit that subscribe, hit that thumbs up. Appreciate y'all checking out the channel again today, and we'll see you guys right back here on the Bass All Year channel for another video. Y'all be easy now. See ya.